So this is part two of day four, and we already spent like 2 hours on the previous part. So on using a second part to think some ways of solving, and I think this part will be more quiet because now I'm going to use pen and paper as well because just thinking through notepad and paint isn't really uh, helping me too much in this problem. So let me get my pen and paper and those are rolling on it. And then let's see what we can do. I will at least keep speaking, so at least whatever is going through my mind is at least perceivable through the audio. So let me get my pen and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are now on part two of this problem. I have decided I'm going to actually solve it because we have been through like this problem for a while, and I think there will be something good to take away if I can solve this by myself. So let's go. Can't believe in the year 2025, after spending 5 years of Leetcode and CPM, once again doing the same thing, spending a long time on a problem that I must probably give up at this point. But uh, sometimes you just can't let it go. You know, especially problems like these. You know, if it was an implementation problem, uh, like for a DS kind of problem, maybe I would have given up. But when I come across problems like these, they are just something, and the fact that this is a deep code medium and it has like 40% acceptance rate, that is the other thing that bugs me, that makes me think that I'm thinking too hard on this problem. So okay, let's get back to this game. And this time I'm using pen and paper as well. So I'll try to, if I find something meaningful, I'll also draw it here. But now I'll be mostly quiet and I will use my pen and paper to come up with something. And I might also, speak in my regional language. I mean, I might speak in Hindi. So because I can, I can think better in Hindi than I can in English. So let's get on with this problem. Let's get this thing done. चलो तो फिर सब कुछ तो ट्राई कर लिया, अब क्या करा जाए। मैंने काफ़ी कुछ सोचा कि ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं, ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं। देखिए क्वेश्चन मार्क्स तो बहुत फ्लेक्सिबल हैं, उसको हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी दे सकते हैं कि तुम टू की पावर एन ट्रायल मान लें, चेक कर देखिए क्या हो सकता है। इसके अलावा हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हमको हर पॉजिटिव के साथ एक नेगेटिव एसोसिएट करना ही है। तो क्या क्या हो सकता है, तो एक फिक्स्ड ओपनिंग के साथ एक फिक्स क्लोजिंग मर्ज हो सकता है, एक फिक्स ओपनिंग के साथ एक क्वेश्चन मार्क वाला मर्ज हो सकता है, एक क्वेश्चन मार्क वाले के साथ एक क्लोजिंग मर्ज हो सकता है, एंड दो क्वेश्चन मार्क वाले मर्ज हो सकते हैं। तो क्वेश्चन मार्क वाला केस आई थिंक हमको अभी नहीं देखना चाहिए, ये सबसे इजी केस है, ये हैंडल हो जाएगा बहुत ही आराम से। हमको पहले 3 केसेस में देखना है क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा। जो हम क्या कह सकते हैं कि जो ऑलरेडी जो हमारे पास कैरेक्टर्स हैं, ठीक है, हमारे पास कुछ फिक्स कैरेक्टर्स हैं, तो अपने इस प्रॉब्लम के क्राइटेरिया में इम्पोर्टेंट बस यही है कि हमको एक ओपनिंग पॉजिटिव के लिए एक क्लोजिंग नेगेटिव चाहिए, क्लोजिंग ब्रैकेट चाहिए उसके राइट साइड पे। ये है मेन क्राइटेरिया, बस इतना अगर हम फुलफिल कर देंगे तो, और फाइनली अगर हमारा सम 0 आ जाएगा तो नहीं, बस इतना ही करेंगे तो हो जाएगा, क्योंकि इक्वल नंबर ऑफ ओपनिंग्स एंड इक्वल नंबर ऑफ क्लोजिंग्स तो है, इतना ही करेंगे तो अपना क्राइटेरिया हो जाएगा कंप्लीट कि हर ओपनिंग के लिए हमें क्लोजिंग उसके राइट साइड पे मिल गया, एंड सिमिलरली हर क्लोजिंग के लिए उसको अपने लेफ्ट साइड पे ओपनिंग मिल गया। तो इतना है क्राइटेरिया बेसिक सा, ठीक है। अब पहले तो हमको यार जो जो एग्जिस्टिंग है उनको हमें उन्हीं में पेयर करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए। एग्जिस्टिंग वालों को अपने में पेयर करें तो बेस्ट है। एग्जिस्टिंग वालों को हमें उनमें पेयर करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए। तो पॉइंट है कि यार हम अगर एग्जिस्टिंग वालों को पेयर करेंगे तो जैसे जो पॉजिटिव हैं उनका क्वांटिटी, अगर हम एग्जिस्टिंग वालों को एक स्टैक में ले लें, ठीक है, एग्जिस्टिंग वालों को अगर हम स्टैक में ले लें तो आई थिंक जो भी पेयर्स पॉप हो सकते हैं वो पॉप हो जाएंगे, और जो नहीं हो पाएंगे वो बच जाएंगे। तो उनके इंडेक्सेस अगर हम ले लें, लेट्स से ले देंगे जो नहीं पॉप हो पा रहे हैं। पॉप होने का मतलब सिंपली है कि जो क्लोजिंग वाले ब्रैकेट्स जिनके लिए हमको एक ओपनिंग लेफ्ट पे मिल गया वो वो यूजअप हो गए, अदरवाइज इससे हम करेंगे ओपनिंग वगैरह का। ओपनिंग हमको मिला, उसके लिए हमने क्लोजिंग किया राइट पे, जब भी हुआ स्टैक जैसा अप्रोच लगाया हमने। स्टैक वाले अप्रोच में क्या होता है, या तो हमारा कुछ पॉजिटिव बच जाता है या तो हमारा कुछ नेगेटिव बच जाता है। कुछ पॉजिटिव बच जाता है तो कुछ नेगेटिव बच जाता है। जो भी होगा स्टैक वाला अप्रोच में, उसमें स्टैक का उल्टा और ये स्टैक का ही सीक्वेंस बनेगा चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, है ना। और वो जो उल्टा आरबीएस बनेगा, क्या उसमें जो राइट वाला बंदा है वो लेकिन वही है ना कि यार लेफ्ट वाले बंदे को सबसे लेफ्ट में कैसे रखें। अगर मैं ड्रॉ करूँ, अगर कुछ बच नहीं है लेफ्ट वाले और कुछ राइट वाले बच नहीं है तो सबसे क्लोज वाले उन्हीं को नहीं बचाना चाहिए। हमको पता है कि इतने लेफ्ट तो बचेंगे और हमें पता है इतने राइट तो बचेंगे, तो हमको पता ही है कि इतने क्लोज ही बचने वाले हैं, इतने इतने बचने वाले हैं। लेकिन अब पता कैसे करें यार, क्या होगा ओपनिंग और क्लोजिंग को। अच्छा एक चीज बताओ, लेट्स से राइट वाला स्टैक अप्रोच से अगर हम करेंगे तो गारंटीड है कि जो लेफ्ट वाला बेसिस बच जा रहा है, जो लेफ्ट वाला बेसिस बच जा रहा है वो राइट से राइट होगा, लेकिन जो राइट वाला बेसिस बच जा रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा राइट चला जाएगा। लेकिन ये बहुत ज़्यादा राइट हो जाएगा, बट ये राइट बेसिस है जिनके लिए हमको कोई नहीं मिला है, तो ये अवॉइडेबल है, शायद है अवॉइडेबल। इसको instead just like कोई picture अबे यार सवाल समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या करना है। ओह माय गॉड, अब ये भी मेरे वीडियो में आ जाएगा। डिस्कॉर्ड खोलना ही नहीं चाहिए बीच में। Please ignore that little glimpse you had of the Discord server, just random Discord server people talking random shit. Anyways, what Discord servers are actually visible? Oh, okay, not a problem. Let me just close this. Okay. How much time is gone? 12 minutes. It's 10 to the power 5, right? The length of the string. Did I misread the problem? Let me like actually confirm. Cannot change the cell, but if you can change it to if you can. I think I understood the question correctly only. Still like a more difficult problem, similar questions, valid parentheses, generate parentheses, check if there is a valid parentheses, move to wow, this solves such problem actually. Should make a note of all these problems for future reference. Yeah. Mm. I need to think in some different way. अब जैसे सोच रहा हूँ वैसे नहीं होगा, कुछ और ही तरीके से सोचना पड़ेगा इसको। कुछ जबरदस्ती करने से नहीं होगा, मुझे कुछ और डीपी है, कुछ और अलग मेथड लगाना पड़ेगा शायद। मैंने बहुत सारे अप्रोचेस ट्राई कर लिए, वीडियो वाले टाइप के अप्रोचेस नहीं हो रहा, कल नहीं कर रहा, सॉरी करना पड़ेगा। हम क्यों ना हम इस क्वेश्चन को अभी क्वेश्चन मार्क के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचें। सबसे पहले फिक्स्ड वालों को लेके सोच रहे थे, वी वर थिंकिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ first we'll deal with the fixed characters, then we'll think about the question marks. What about if we think from the question marks and then proceed towards the fixed characters? What about that? Let's think in terms of that, I guess. Question mark. One thing we know कि if we have certain amount of pluses already there, then we know how many more question marks we can allocate as plus and how many more question marks we can allocate as negative, like opposite. In fact, this was one of the first things I should have actually noticed, and I don't know why am I noticing this right now. This was one of the first things I should have noticed. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि हम निकाल लेते हैं कि हमको कितने पॉजिटिव चाहिए और कितने हमको how many positive needed and how many negative needed. ओ हाँ, एक चीज और यार, अगर हमको पता ही कि हमको कितने पॉजिटिव चाहिए, हमको पता है कितने नेगेटिव चाहिए, तो ये ये सेंस बनाता है ना कि हम नेगेटिव को जितना राइट हो हम उतना उसको राइट में रखे, पॉजिटिव को जितना लेफ्ट हो उसको उतना लेफ्ट पे रखे। क्वेश्चन मार्क वाली अगर हम सिर्फ स्ट्रिंग देखेंगे, है ना, डजंट इट मेक सेंस कि हम मान लीजिए हमको एक्स पॉजिटिव चाहिए, हमको वाई नेगेटिव चाहिए, ठीक है, तो डज इट नॉट मेक सेंस कि हम सारे के सारे पॉजिटिव को लेफ्ट की तरफ रखें, सारे के सारे जो भी नेगेटिव्स हमको इतने इतने हमको क्वेश्चन मार्क्स में नेगेटिव एलोकेट करने ही है, तो हम उसको एकदम ही राइट पे रखें। अगर हमको तीन पॉजिटिव, अगर हमारे पास है 8 क्वेश्चन मार्क की स्ट्रिंग एंड हमको पता है कि हमको उसको 3 पॉजिटिव्स में बांटना है एंड हमको उसको 5 नेगेटिव्स में बांटना है, तो मेरे हिसाब से सारे पॉजिटिव्स को अगर हम एक तरफ लेफ्ट पे लेके चले जाएं और सारे मतलब नेगेटिव यानी कि क्लोजिंग ब्रैकेट को हम राइट पे लेके चले जाएं, तो ये बेस्ट होना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से। यही बेस्ट, दिस शुड बी द बेस्ट थिंग दैट वी कैन डू, ignoring all the fixed values. यही पॉजिटिव्स का काम क्या है? पॉजिटिव्स का काम है कि उनके राइट पे एक नेगेटिव हो, और नेगेटिव का काम क्या है कि उसके लेफ्ट पे एक पॉजिटिव हो। तो अगर हम नेगेटिव को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा राइट पे लेके जाएंगे, तो उससे हमारी पॉसिबिलिटी बढ़ती है, जो ये क्वेश्चन मार्क्स वाले नेगेटिव है उनको ज़्यादा राइट पुश करेंगे, तो कलेक्टिवली इट मेक्स सेंस, या कलेक्टिवली ये ज़्यादा कन्वीनियंट, ये सेंस बनाता है कि उसको सारे 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 की इकट्ठे जितने भी नेगेटिव्स हम असाइन कर रहे हैं सबको लेफ्ट में कोई मैचिंग, मैचिंग ओपनिंग ब्रैकेट मिलने के उसके चांसेस ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे। एंड सिमिलरली जस्ट द कन्वर्स, अगर हम जो लेफ्ट ओपनिंग ब्रैकेट है क्वेश्चन मार्क्स में हम जो एलोकेट कर रहे हैं, वो उनको हम जितना जितना ज़्यादा लेफ्ट लेके जाएंगे उनको एक मैचिंग राइट ब्रैकेट उसको मिलने के चांसेस भी ज़्यादा हैं। एंड अगर कोई सीक्वेंस है जिसमें कि कोई सीक्वेंस जिसमें अगर मान लीजिए हम एक स्वैप कर लेते हैं, let me now explain it through the drawing. I think we have our solution, but let me illustrate. So I'll explain in English what I was thinking. Okay, so first thing that I missed uh, for a very good amount of time now, we already know how many opening, how many or positives and or negatives we need to assign among the question marks. And I will reiterate, the question mark is basically those positions where we can assign either opening or closing, basically the zero in the input, in the log string, zero. Now if this is fixed, let's forget about the remaining, remainder of the string. Let's just not worry about the fixed values. let's just think in terms of the question mark strings, and let's say we extract the question marks out of the whole input string. So this, it will look like something like this. So if we know that we have to, like, say, assign 4 question marks as positive and the remaining these question marks is negative, so does it not make sense to assign all of them, all the 4 positives on the left side, and 4 opening brackets on the left and the remaining uh, closing brackets on the right? Why do I think this is an optimal thing to do? Because let's say, um, so like uh, like the question marks are the variable flexible factor in this problem, okay, and they only kind of move the problem towards the solution. So for whatever characters that are fixed, okay, they need something to pair up with. But let's just not think about the fixed characters, because they don't care whether they get their other matching pair out of something which is fixed or something which is not fixed. But if we were to, like, consider putting all the 4 of these positives on the left side and the remaining, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these negatives on the right, then don't you think overall it is a better string with the odds of our valid parenthesis strings increase, right? Because how should I say this? Let's try to convince ourselves why is this good. So we know that for every positive, let's call it positive number, we need a negative number on the right, -1 on the right. So in that sense, it makes more sense that at least among the question marks, like only the question marks. Let's consider what kind of relationships we can have, right? So we can have there are four types of pairings we can have: fixed, fixed plus, fixed minus, which means a fixed an already fixed positive got matched with an already fixed negative. Next case is fixed plus, and we got a negative out of question mark. Okay, negative question mark. By question mark, I mean we flipped the question mark into a negative. We got a question mark positive, and we got a fixed negative. Final case is the pairing happened between 2 question marks, which means the left of that question mark is a plus and the right of a question mark is negative. So we don't need to worry about the fourth case because this is very flexible. So let's think, if we do this kind of strategy instead of something else, does this actually also help these 4 pairings? So the fixed ones will not be like they like let's pick this one. So this one there for the fixed plus, we are taking the pairs of negative question marks. So obviously we are moving all our negative question marks towards the right, as far as right we can. So definitely it benefits all the fixed positives, even the ones for which the negatives are behind, because we always want that for a fixed positive, the negative should come after it. Similarly, the converse case is also true. For a fixed negative, having the positives on as left as possible is a good thing, because that will allow more and more negatives to pair up with the positives, right? Now, uh, so this is one way, and among the, the fourth case also, it's a good thing, because, like, if you do, instead of going with like this, you do something like this. Again, how many negatives are there? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, why am I thinking so hard? Let's just copy this and put it. use our eyes. If we were to flip this, here also there are two things that can happen. Okay, maybe let's say here if positive got matched with negative, and the negative got matched with the positive before it. So like we did not change like the answers for this like the first three letters of the string and the last of minuses after the first minus, like excluding the first minus. We did not worsen their pairings. All we did was worsen the pairing of this plus and this minus. And in a similar way, like as we keep shifting more pluses towards the right of the negatives, we basically cumulatively make this uh, the possibility. Let's do it once again. Let's say I'll bring that third plus towards the right, like this whole thing. Oh, sorry. So if you look at this, this became even worse now. Now this collectively worsened the answer for this plus and this negative. So if we keep doing this kind of switching and flipping, shifting the negatives to left and shifting the positives to right, it's collectively making it worse for all the two, three, four cases, right? It's making it worse for all the three cases. So what about case one? Then what about case one? So for case one, if there was a answer sequence, like the case one is not really something we really need to worry about, right? Because it's like fixed plus with fixed minus. And uh, this configuration of shifting the pluses to left and the minuses to right is only benefiting it's benefiting the second, third, and fourth cases. So yeah, like it wouldn't matter, right? Like for the rest, the fixed pluses and fixed minuses don't really, like, if there was an optimal answer like out of our this arrangement, then even and there were a few things that were fixed, like there were few pairings that were fixed. So the fixed pairings are not really getting affected by any of these question mark flippings, right? They don't matter at all. They don't get disturbed, those pairings. I think case one is not something that we really need to worry about. We don't have to discuss this case at all because this is just not really relevant here. Uh, so, what I'm saying is, uh, what I'm saying is, finally, I'm just like giving me myself. I'm like 90% convinced this probably will work, but I'm just giving myself some last minutes thoughts to like finalize this. For fixed pairings, for fixed pairings, क्या कर सकते हैं फिक्स पेयरिंग्स के लिए हम 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 जो ये फिक्स्ड है इसके लिए भी वो फिक्स होगा। अगर हम उनको 2 3 4 के साथ भी स्वैप करेंगे तो कोई फर्क पड़ता नहीं है। फिक्स्ड वालों को ऐसे भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। एंड फिक्स तो नेचुरली फाइनली जब हम ये करेंगे, yeah, fixed is not a problem because if fixed was there, even in the conventional stack algorithm, we would just run through them and we would just pop them like they would. So like fixed to apne aap, like the first condition will naturally fix like fulfill itself once the second, third, and fourth conditions are fulfilled. If we can make sure that this is happening, then this is just a natural outcome. The fixed positive getting paired up with the fixed negative is not something, it was not even getting affected before. Like for all the possible answers, whatever like there were possible answers were there, and the positives and negatives were getting fixed. Fixed ones were getting paired off. They were already not getting any kind of, they were not getting bothered by any of these arrangements from before only, right? Right. Mm, mm. I think they were not getting bothered. Mm, the fixed thing is also kind of, I don't know. Like the point one is, I think we can like, I mean, why fixed and why not fixed? Like, why does this? Why are we like trying to discriminate the problem with the fixed? Like, fixed is just something the input came with. Ultimately, the goal is to make sure that the positives are as left as possible and the negatives are as right as possible, right? Because it effectively improves the the possibility of, because for whatever the sign that is fixed, we cannot move it, so we cannot anyways improve their chances through that character. We have to take help of question marks, and we already saw all the movement related cases like 2, 3, 4 are all optimal under this arrangement. So yeah, so we should not even think about the fixed in terms of fixed. We should just think that in general, if the question marks we are putting pluses on the left and the right, then is it benefiting the whole setup? And it is benefiting the whole setup, because no matter like if we shift them at the left and the right, then for all the positives we are doing the best thing we can do. Like we are getting the negatives as light as they can go. And for all the negatives, similarly, we are doing the best thing we can do. We are getting it towards getting the positives as left as they can go overall. And whether some pluses and minuses are fixed, they don't, the fixed things don't really improve the solution. They just keep it as it is. So with this, now let's talk about our implementation. There is some implementation detail. So let me like take another notepad and scribe write the solution in that. Just a moment. Okay, so we will go and I'll make another text file. Mm, and I think I'm kind of convinced that this will probably work. Therefore, underscore 2.txt. So here we'll how how implementation details. So okay, so implementation details is simple. So first step will gather how many uh, if string length is odd, then return false. This we have to take care of, else there will be that one test case where we'll fucking miss. We'll just miss that. Next is to count how many zeros. Now I'm using zeros again. Okay, zeros need to be, and how many need to be Then uh, across all zeros, we assign first the let's assume we need x openings and y closings from the zeros, and then across all zeros we assign first x zeros as this opening and final y zeros as the opposite. Then we will use traditional stack algorithm, check if we attained our valid parenthesis slash RBS. Okay, let's now go code this thing and we will strictly follow the implementation details as I've written them now. Okay, so first step is fs.length. If this turns out to be correct, honestly, I'll throw my 5 minutes of some comments about this problem. Well, technically, this is not really. There is some construction. Maybe you can say that there is some construction involved. Let's talk about this after we get this uh, accepted. Return false. Int count was 0, count neck 0. So ll n equal to s dot length by 2 because we kind of we need to deal with half openings and half closing brackets, so I'm just taking n by 2 now. For auto ampersand when I'm in string s, f s of I equal to this. We also need to check one more case, to be honest, that if we even have enough question marks for actually, what am I saying? We will obviously have enough question marks. That is just a natural consequence. Anyways, on pause plus equal to 1, else we'll increment the negative number of the closing brackets. Now we will just flip them because this gives us the count of how many are already fixed. We need the count of how many we need out of the question marks. Right. So now we actually also need to do a few more checks. So int rep was equal to n minus count was int retneg equal to n minus hotneg f rec. If any of this is less than 0, we have to return false. If rec if minimum, let's just take minimum rec neg pos comma rec neg less than 0, then return false, then return true, just like the default condition. So the reason is simply because if there's already more positives than the amount that should be there in a valid parenthesis string, or in the case of negative also, then obviously we cannot balance the string. So we are returning false for this case. Otherwise, we definitely have the question marks, enough question marks. This is just maths. 2n minus whatever is fixed, that many question marks are there. So we can assign the left amount of question marks with this positive and the right with the negative. I mean, yeah. So now let's go through this again. Uh, Um, the funny thing is that I don't know why they like take the extra effort of putting a lock string when they could have simply used question marks as embeddings, and the fixed ones they could have just represented them normally. I don't know, maybe they just wanted to show that this is a new problem or something. I'm pretty sure this is not a new problem. I've probably done this like 3-4 times before. But brain fart happens. I'm getting old. I'm already 25 years old. Maybe in a couple of years I'll completely forget how to program code shit, whatever. Until then, it's just the sad life of a lonely 25-year-old guy. What am I even doing? I don't know. No, just do whatever I can do. Okay, man. I think this is better. I don't know. I forgot how I code this auto ampersand thing. Or maybe I code it like this. Whatever. Let's just go like this. Okay, auto ampersand yes. So if specify if locked I equal to 0, if rec was, then we will do s of I equal to this, rec was minus equal to 1. Else, actually we didn't even need rec negative. We could have done with just positive itself, but it will make the code more understandable. So taking two variables is good for that reason. Okay, now we apply our traditional stack algorithm check to make sure, which is basically, let me open my first document, a4.txt, which is basically, yeah, this approach. If the current character is there, then just push it on stack. If there's this closing bracket, then check for these two conditions. If there is this on top of stack, then just pop it. If the stack is empty, then return false, which means invalid parenthesis. Okay. So we'll just strictly implement what is written here. So let's take a stack, vector character stack, stk, short for stack, and for auto ampersand name. Yes. What is the time now? It's 45 minutes. Okay. So if s of I equal to this, then stk dot pushback this, else if stk dot empty, simply return false. or just do htk.walkback and we are done. Okay, so what we did, if SO5 is equal to opening, we negotiate it. Otherwise, we know it's a closing bracket. If the stack is empty, when we have encountered a closing bracket, then we simply return false, else we just need to pop the top of the stack. And then, okay, there is still one more check left. If not stk.empty, return false. It was like the very final check I was forgetting. So with this, let's run it on our test cases and check the sample ones if this is working or not. Oh, I'm really, really tired of trying this problem. What? Hello. Did I get a result? Oh, I used LL instead of int, which is long. Normally I use LL, but this problem does not really need it. There is no time complexity or memory complexity analysis for this problem because oh, oh, see, this is what happened when fatigue strikes, when you're so tired after constantly breaking the problem so many times, you're just like, man, I just don't want to, just not think anymore and just be done with it. Like I'm done. Like I'm tired with the problem. Oh, 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 okay. Here we will use normal indexing because I have to do some s dot length. I have to do some changes which uses the index. Here we can just use normal. And just convenience thing. Let's just run it now. Let's check. What the heck? We're still getting wrong answer. What? Did I miscalculate something? Wait. What did I do wrong? Oh. Okay. We have to. You have to. And they have this very stupid kind of. Uh, they have this very stupid style of input. I have to also use integer here now because they have assigned everything a bracket. That is why we actually have to check if it's actually one. See, these are the kind of things Leetcode does to make their problem just annoying. You could just do what I said. Just encode um, the changeable position as a question mark and just preserve the rest of them as the characters, the fixed parentheses or the braces they're supposed to be. But no, they will on purpose make it more annoying. They will give you another input, another string, and then you have to use that string and check and all sorts of nonsense. I would never touch LeetCode in my whole life. It was not for job switch, man. If it was not for job switch, I would really never touch this platform. But then I'm hoping maybe this platform is going to be a way for me to improve my implementation because as 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 annoying this platform is, this has like the stepwise, the level wise difficulty gradient towards improving your implementation skills compared to something like code forces where you have so many ideas together. As they say, if you're going to like, how should I say, if you're like cooking a dish and that dish involves cooking several dishes, so you are not going to try cook all the dishes together at once, right? You will try to perfect one dish, then you'll perfect the other dish. So it's the same thing. If I'm working and trying to improve my implementation, I'll first try to solve problems that are just implementation, then later on if they're additives, so there's Yeah, so if there are any additives in the problem, additions, then I will, incorporate them and solve those kind of problems. So Leetcode has brain dead implementation problems only, and it is the easier platform. So I want to go on this. I could even do AdCoder. AdCoder also has these implementation problems. So they have this regular beginner contest, but then again, that also, since it's a beginner contest, it's an educational contest. It's not always just purely implementation. It also has a variety of very annoying style problems. So let's run it again. Okay, so for the first three test cases, we have true. Let's just test on our critical test cases which we cooked. But man, I have to like provide this annoying kind of uh, uh, this annoying kind of noisy one. Okay, let's try submitting now. What? We are getting a wrong answer. Let me check why. Wait, let's have a look. What did we do wrong? It could be a very simple mistake. Let me delete all these test cases. Come on, man! After putting so much time, you're giving me another annoying mistake. I think this time it's just some kind of silly edge case check that I'm missing. Let's hope that's the case because let me reprint the string after we have done all the substitutions. Uh, Cout as what did it do? Flock tie equal to 0. Okay, okay. Let me print the string. Run. So our output string is like this. Um, let me check if Google provides. Let me just ask Chat GPT. Yeah, I'm not cheating, kind of. Is this a regular bracket sequence? Regular bracket sequence. Let me just ask Chat GPT at this point. Uh, it says it's a regular bracket sequence. So where do we get our false out of? Uh, let's try printing it below this. Okay, we are getting our std out. What the heck? Okay, let's 2. This is the balance finally zero. Balance finally zero. What the heck? How? Expected true and this makes no sense. Wait, did I make some mistake? Log I equal to 1 and s of I equal to this else. Oh, obviously, man, I went through the length of. I'm supposed to go all the way. Oh my god, why? Why does Leetcode act like an idiot, man? Sometimes. Let me just run it now. Now it should be correct, I think. I did not. Yeah, now it is correct. I mean, I said now I'm actually very tired now. I'm actually pretty tired at this point. Okay, so we are finally done with this problem. Man, what? I won't say difficult, but no, actually, okay, it was a difficult problem for me. I mean, I spent 2 hours butting my heads, not getting anywhere. Then finally, I spending like another 40, 50 minutes. I got the approach, and then I made so many silly mistakes while coding. I mean, these mistakes while coding are somewhat not surprising. Like I spent so long on this problem, and I'm finally so tired that I made a lot of mistakes while coding something that is so simple. So yeah, so okay, this is the day 4 of the lead code challenge, and again, let's have a look at what people have to say about this problem. Uh, as let's have a look what there is an editorial for this problem. Interestingly, so to like intuition. So so to add its index to unlock stack with the factory add its index. There is a matching open factory pop there. If no open parenthesis, I try to even unlock function pop the what? If the position is unlocked at its index. Oh, oh my god. They are using some double stack approach. My god. Okay. Okay, this is a problem. I think I definitely need to come back and maybe read through people's approaches or like read the solution they have provided and try to think why their approach works. So it turns out my approach is not the same as their approach. It is, but maybe it's different in some ways. So this is the tutorial and it's quite lengthy for a C++ problem. I mean, for a otherwise supposedly there is a constant space solution. Oh my god, what the hell, man? They're still talking about constant space in a difficult problem like this. What is our time complexities though? And we didn't use any extra space at all. Our space complexity is basically constant space because all we did was just flip the or substitute the values. Uh, Actually, no, it's not constant space. We are using win space to like verify the. But we can do it in constant space by using plus minus integer to check if it's going a little below zero or not at some point. So we can do that, but there's no need. We can do it in constant space too in our solution itself. So I don't have the energy to go through this solution, so I'm not really going to. And honestly, it looks like a very, very long solution. It has some 6 lengthy steps as well. Aside from this, again, they have this complexity analysis. So let's see. Leetcode. I don't know. This is some silly poem someone has written. Uh, if there another simple solution which calculates minimum and maximum open bracket at each step. Uh, and obviously, this guy just threw his code here, and he did not even explain why his code works. Because why does it matter, right? If the code works, then it is what it is. So someone is being humble and is actually confessing the real truth here. If this was one hell of a question, if I get this in an interview, it would be a nightmare. Solving could be possible, but to explain all the edge cases and intuition. So I mean, just look at my solution. It has no edge case. It has nothing. It is just basic greedy approach. Pull all the positives to left, pull all the negatives to the right. Just use the fact that you can put uh, opening bracket as +1, you can put closing bracket as -1, and use the general definition of what a regular bracket sequence. There's two, three ways of defining an RBS. We discussed all of them in the videos. So let me just summarize them again. So one is you have the sequence, you have the characters, and you apply the stack algorithm, the traditional stack algorithm to man. Now the stack algorithm is gone. Where is it? Yeah. Use this algorithm and verify uh, if the stack, if this condition is valid, point two, or at the end the stack should be empty. This is one way. Another way is to substitute these with +1, -1. You take the prefix sum at every index step and you make sure that the sum never goes below 0. At the end it should be 0. It's effectively same as this only, but this is like a visual way of saying this thing. And finally, another way of explaining the actual the final definition that we use to solve this problem is every opening parenthesis should be paired with a closing parenthesis on its right side. And same the other way around. Every closing parenthesis should have an opening parenthesis on its left that it can be paired with. Together, both. It's a double if and only if. So if both these work, then only we have a valid parenthesis string. So we use that approach to solve this problem. Let's go through some more comments. I mean, at this point, I'm already like 1 hour is gone, my life is gone, everything has ended. But we finished the problem. How to understand that the stack approach handles cases like these? My simple and honest advice: don't try to understand that solution. I don't know what it is. I am pretty sure. See, this is saying the second solution is diabolical. Check out the solution which beats in using greedy to pass algorithm. Man, I really hate it when people use such big words. Greedy to pass algorithm. To pass means they iterated through the string twice, which is basically what we did. We use 3 pass because we iterated thrice. Let me just confirm if my understanding of the 2 pass thing is correct. Software engineers love using technical jargon, man. No, for no real reason actually. They just and yeah, and again, this guy is saying intuition, but he has no explanation as to why this works or whatever. Right? Requires okay, okay. Perform left and right to ensure balance approach. Okay, use counters. Uh, what? What? I don't want to spend my brain anymore for this solution. What is he even yapping, bro? What is this, man? How many pluses minus this guy's used in his solutions? Thank you for the greedy solution. Okay, to be fair, maybe his explanation is good and maybe it's complete and you can read and convince yourself this works. But I'll be honest, the algorithm, the approach looks so big and the explanation is basically non-existent. This is just 5 lines of existing development. He did not even explain. Yeah, they just say it's you just have to. There should be flexibility for us to balance. I have no idea what. There is no explanation why this is solution works. It just works. You just need to memorize this solution and pray that in interview you remember all the minuses And you remember it has to be minus minus at this point, plus plus in the second line. You just need to remember this algorithm. I tried my best to explain the intuition in a digestible way as far as I could, because even I convinced myself more or less 90-95%, but I was still confused with condition one and kind of hand with that. But I tried to explain my intuition as much as we could to make it sound as convincing we can. Okay, few more cases. Can you assume that okay, well, some people who are genuinely not convinced with the solution and stuff, and these kind of conversations, I don't know, man. Some people say this works, some people say that works, and at the end, the conversation just dies because nobody has agreed with each other. See, agreed. I think editorial should have a proof for greedy approach. Man, I'm not sure, but whoever wrote this solution, and see, I think the solution has been written by someone who actually knows their solution, because you cannot write such a big garbage solution if you don't understand the correctness behind it. Or possibly they mimicked another problem and just changed a few things and just applied that. So this problem is basically a black box on top of another existing problem, which is a possibility. Uh, Now just we have just gone through almost all comments. So, uh, I think my solution deserves a posting, but I don't want to post, because then I don't want too many people to know that I'm doing this lead code challenge thing. So let's just check another. The iterator is 27. I don't know. And, he has tried to provide some sort of explanation. He has two upvotes. Uh, Still can't convince that oil is just terrible. Aryan Mittal. Oh yeah, this guy. Mm, yeah, okay, I know him from LinkedIn. So people are trying their own ways. Oh, there is someone who used the word invariant. Let me check this guy's rating. Ah man, now I have no idea how good he actually is. But he has used latex coding and stuff. Well, no, it's actually all over the place. What is there to optimize in this problem, man? Oh my god, modulo and division operations. Like I did not explain why I did this and, but yeah, as this guy says, this bitwise operation is quicker. Instead of using modulo 2, you can use this and one check. This is supposed to be quicker architecture wise, but not really the correct problem to discuss this optimization, because what is there to optimize in an algorithm solution? So in general, some people are trying to explain and convince themselves why the solution works. Some people think that they are okay and they have understood. Like this guy who has, I think, this guy has done. He has put in the effort to understand the actual solution and try to prove why this works. Penrose cat. Okay, I think at least good trying to understand the solution is a good thing to do. FFFF, God knows what guy slept on his keyboard or something. Okay, so overall, most people are not really sure about the solution. A lot of people think that there is few people who think they're okay and they've understood, and a lot of people are confused in the comment section. So overall, we can say that my this being helpless through the session of solving this problem and spending 2 hours and not getting anywhere and finally doing something was not actually a very bad thing. This problem is genuinely hard, it seems, from the comments. Maybe some smart people have solved it in a good, simple way. So, so that's about it. I really don't have much to say because uh, like this problem was very hard for me. So tips for myself, like final tips for myself, is to obviously review this problem. Probably, go to the discuss section and find someone sensible who has really tried to explain their approach. Uh, like they have a good approach and they have tried to explain it well. Uh, and I can read their approach and convince myself, and also to revisit my own approach, maybe try to understand better why did it work. Uh, all in all, this is also not a problem that you should get in an interview. You can pray to God that this does not come to an interview. If yesterday's problem was bad, this is like the diabolical, as someone said, diabolical. Yes, this is a diabolical problem for an interview. So, and I don't know why is this a lead code medium, but lead code think this is a medium problem. I think that definitely there are more solutions to this problem. There have there have to be, because the acceptance rate is quite high. I don't know if that is because people are copy pasting the solution or something, but assuming that people are not really doing that and there is a 40% acceptance rate, I would assume that there are people who have solved this fairly and with that stack approach as well, like with that very super annoying stack approach. There are some people who have actually understood that solution I've done. So I'll wait till someone actually comes up with a nice, understandable solution for this problem. And wow, holy shit, what is this? A solution that is so small or something. I might actually check this guy's solution. Let me just, copy this link and save it. I think this guy might be strong. Okay, rating wise, I'm not very sure, but at least his code looks very small, and I think maybe either the test cases are not good or his approach is good. We can check this out later on. Okay, so I'll end the video here, and I want to say this uh, that don't worry if you couldn't solve today's challenge. I was almost there. I was also going to fail this challenge today. Nearly failed, but I kind of stuck along and somehow got to a working solution. That just happened. And let's hope that we will get some actual interview problems or interview style problems from next day onwards. So okay, so this is it for today, and I will stop the recording here. Okay, goodbye and have a nice day.